As some of you watching this may know, I have been a big fan of the game show Jeopardy ever since Ken Jennings was in the middle of his 75-game streak back in 2004. Over the last 21 and a half years, I've really enjoyed following the show. I've learned a lot about trivia and started doing rather well participating in simulated game show play at trivia conventions because of following Jeopardy. But there is one thing that has really kept me interested in the show for so many years. Ever since Ken Jennings had his 75-game run, I have always stayed tuned into the show, hoping that the current champion will keep winning and build up the same sort of lengthy winning streak. Over the years, I've seen champions like David Madden, Julia Collins, Matt Amodio, James Holzhauer, and Amy Schneider build up very impressive streaks. However, over the past 3 years, something has really changed with the show that I have found very disappointing. When I tuned into the show yesterday, as with the last several weeks, I've heard the show start with Johnny Gilbert's intro, not simply saying, "This is Jeopardy!" but announcing the Jeopardy Invitational Tournament. Before Jeopardy started doing these tournaments, I hadn't ever heard of things like wild cards, invitationals, masters, and second chance. But now there's all this new terminology that is being brought to the game, and it's crazy. The thing is, all this tournament stuff is taking away from the whole reason that I found Jeopardy fascinating. Now, when someone wins a game, you don't see a total dollar amount of winnings over a number of days. You see a graphic that says advances to some sort of finals. Why is everything final? Quarterfinal, semifinal, final? I thought only the last thing in a series of things is final. Maybe the first elimination rounds should be called the initials, because they're not final at all. They're just the opposite. But the bottom line is, there's no accumulation of winnings anymore. The dollars you see on the board and on the contestant podiums are just a score. Why do they bother betting so big on daily doubles? You can't win the money. I actually asked ChatGPT about all this, and the feedback I got was that all these concepts that are new to me, the advancement, the finals, the wild cards, and whatnot, are coming into play because Jeopardy is trying to be like a sport, doing tournaments like the NCAA, the NFL with the Super Bowl, and the like. So maybe they're trying to go after a new set of fans, being that they're doing sporting stuff. However, you shouldn't abandon your longtime fan base that appreciates Jeopardy for the way it normally is, with the regular play that allows for the champions to go for as long as they win. What they should do is move the tournaments to another time slot or to a streaming channel. They do run their celebrity tournaments as well as some of the other tournaments in prime time, but why can't they move this second chance and invitational stuff to prime time or a streaming platform? Also, I say they should get rid of Final Jeopardy and do a Super Jeopardy bonus round for the champion like Art Fleming did when Jeopardy was rebooted in 1978. The problem with Final Jeopardy is that many of the games have the leader with more than twice the second place total, so the winner is already determined without having to play Final Jeopardy. So why bother playing it? It's just a long, boring shtick to play the think music and reveal all three responses, only to declare the same winner that would have been declared without playing Final Jeopardy. In any case, I think Jeopardy needs to do some restructuring if they ever want to keep their fans. Come on, Jeopardy, what you been smoking?